Hello friend, this is Kundan Jha and you are most welcome in Inform Techi. This is the part 12 of ASP.NET वीडियो ट्यूटोरियल और आज इस वीडियो में हम देखने वाले हैं कि हम कैसे एक एक्सेल फाइल से डेटा अपने ग्रिड व्यू में लोड कर सकते हैं, वहां हम इस डेटा को मॉडिफाई कर सकते हैं एंड फाइनली हम इस डेटा को डेटाबेस में इंसर्ट कर सकते हैं. So today we are going to implement this kind of example like where we can select an Excel file and we can upload this Excel file, right? Once we upload, then all the data will displayed in grid view. In grid view, we can modify the data and we can also remove the record if required. Let's say I am removing the last one record. So simply we can remove this record from grid view. And in case if we have to edit some record, we can edit as well. Like I have to edit this record. So simply we have to click on edit button. We can modify the data whichever we want. Let's suppose I have to update the age from 25 to 28. Simply we can click on update button. Data is updated. Now finally we can insert this all data in our database. So before clicking on submit button, let's see what is data in our table. Simply we can execute this query and you can see in the TVL employee there is no record currently. So once we click on the submit button, all the data will get inserted in our database. Simply click on submit button. We get a message like record successfully inserted in database. Now we can check in our database, execute the query. You can see all the record will get inserted in our table. Let's go to our Visual Studio to implement the same example. So यहाँ पे हम अपना एक वेब फॉर्म ऐड कर लेते हैं. राइट क्लिक ऑन योर एप्लीकेशन, ऐड एंड न्यू आइटम, सेलेक्ट वेब फॉर्म और मैं अपने वेब फॉर्म का नाम एक्सेल टू ग्रिड व्यू रख लेता हूँ. एक्सेल टू ग्रिड व्यू. एक्सेल फाइल को अपलोड करने के लिए सबसे पहले हमें एक फाइल अपलोड कंट्रोल चाहिए. तो सिंपली वी कैन यूज से एक्सेल फाइल and to upload this file finally we can use a upload button and we can display a text over the button by upload. Now we can run this page and see the output. To style this page I am going to use the bootstrap. So I already have a bootstrap CDN link. I am going to use the CDN link in my web form, paste inside the head tag and I can use bootstrap grade system. So in the first step I will simply keep my file upload control. To style this button, we can use the bootstrap class. To style this file control, save this form and refresh your web page. Now you can see the output. Okay. तो ऊपर में थोड़ा सा स्पेस नहीं है तो मैं एक ब्रेक कर लेता हूँ एक लाइन. There is no break tag. We can break one line. Refresh your page. Now it's fine. तो अभी हम फाइल अपलोड कंट्रोल से कोई भी फाइल चूज कर सकते हैं. लाइक मुझे एक्सेल फाइल चूज करना है. ओके. और जब हम अपलोड बटन पे क्लिक करेंगे तो इस एक्सेल फाइल में जो भी डेटा होगा वो हमको डिस्प्ले करना है ग्रिड व्यू में. ओके. तो उसके लिए सबसे पहले हमें अपना एक ग्रिड व्यू कंट्रोल ऐड करना है इस वेब फॉर्म में. तो आई विल टेक वन मोर रो. बिफोर दैट लेट मी प्रिंट ए हॉरिजॉन्टल लाइन and div class equal to row. Then we have to display this grid view in center of page. So simply class all md6 and we can leave the offset 3. md offset of 3. मुझे यहाँ पे वो ग्रिड व्यू डिस्प्ले करना है. So I can take the grid view control of ASP.NET, run at server ID. Let's say implemented. And to style this grid view, we can use the table class of bootstrap. So CSS class. Now on the button click, we will bind this grid view with Excel data. Okay. So we have to create one event on click event. बटन क्लास। एक्सेल फाइल को रीड करने के लिए हमें सबसे पहले एक्सेल फाइल को अपने सर्वर के फोल्डर में सेव करना होगा। तो चलिए उसके लिए हम एक पार्ट क्रिएट कर लेते हैं जहाँ पे हमें फाइल सेव करना है। डॉट फाइल नेम। Now to save this file, this path, we have to use the dot posted file save as method. सो अभी एक्सेल फाइल को रीड करने के लिए सबसे पहले हमें एक कनेक्शन स्ट्रिंग चाहिए जिससे हम एक्सेल फाइल के साथ कनेक्शन स्टैब्लिश कर सकते हैं। तो लेट मी क्रिएट अ कनेक्शन स्ट्रिंग। Data source will replace this with my excel file path and extended property here, yes, equal to 1. Now we have to pass here full path to replace the data source placeholder like this one. Now to establish the connection with Excel path, we have to create the object of OLEDB connection class. So I am going to create the object of OLEDB connection class, and OLEDB connection class required a connection string. So simply pass this connection string. Now we have to create the object of command class to write the select command. So simply OLEDB command cmd equal to new OLEDB command, and here we have to write our command text, and here we have to pass our object of connection class. So to read data from the Excel file, simply we have to write a SQL like query like select star from sheet 1 dollar symbol. Basically this is the name of our sheet inside the Excel file which we have to read. Now we have to open the connection. So on dot open, and need to execute this command to get the data from the Excel file. So simply you can use this cmd dot execute reader, and it will return the object of OLEDB data reader. We can directly bind this object as in data source to the employee grid. Now call the bind method of grid class, and close the connection. Now rebuild your application and just refresh the page. Now we can choose our Excel file to upload and display in GridView. So just choose your file and hit on upload button. Okay, I thought there is some problem in our connection string. Okay, we have used here providers. It's provider. So just remove this S, rebuild the application. Now refresh your page, and now try to upload the same file. Now this time our file is successfully uploaded and binded to the GridView. But this column is coming from the Excel file. Now we can also customize our grid view by using our column name. By default, this is coming from the Excel file, and our grid view is generating a column automatically. So we can customize our grid view, like go to your ASPX page, and first of all we have to turn off the auto generated column property. So just we can make it false. Now we can make our own column. Now we have to define our bound fill. and data field name is like, basically this is the name of header of our Excel file. Let me open the Excel file, I will show you. So I am using this name as a data field name. Okay, now same we have to create some more bound field. This is for last name. Now I define all the field which is available inside the Excel file, right? So this file. Now just refresh your page and load again this Excel file. Now you can see that column name is customized. Now we have to enable the user to modify and remove the records from this grid view. So go to our ASPX web form, and now we have to add one command field. Set the header text property, and we have to display a edit button. So simply we can set the show edit button property to true. Also we have to display a delete button, so we can show delete button property set to true. Now just save this page and refresh your browser. Re-upload the file. Now you can see we have one more column with edit and delete button, but we have to change the button type. Like currently this is an button type is link, so we have to convert this into an image type. So we have to first change the button type property of the command field tag. So simply we can change the button type and set it to image. Now we have to set the image URL for edit, update and delete. So first let me set the image URL for edit. So simply I can say that edit image URL. Image URL. I have already some image icons inside this icon folder, so I can choose from here. Now for delete, finally for update. And for cancel also. Now we have set the image URL for edit button, cancel button, update button and delete button. Also we have to set the width and height property. So simply we can set the width, control style width, set 20 pixel, and we have to set height as well. 20 pixel. Now refresh your web form and re-upload the Excel file. ओके, तो अभी हमने क्या किया, इमेज टाइप चेंज कर, सॉरी हमने अभी क्या किया, कमांड फिल का बटन टाइप चेंज कर दिया टू इमेज, और हमने सारे इमेज के वैल्यू सेट कर दिए. तो नाउ इट्स लुक गुड. अभी हमें क्या करना है, जब यूजर एडिट बटन पे क्लिक करेगा तो हमें ये इनेबल करना है फॉर एडिटिंग के लिए. पर करंटली जब मैं इस एडिट बटन पे क्लिक करूंगा तो हमें पता है कि एक एक्सेप्शन थ्रो करेगा, विच इज रो एडिटिंग इवेंट एक्सेप्शन. सो वी हैव टू हैंडल दिस इवेंट. सो हाउ कैन वी हैंडल दिस? नाउ गो टू योर ग्रिड व्यू and set the on row editing event. Now when user click on the edit button, GridView fired a row editing event. So now we have to handle this row editing event. ओके, तो इस रो एडिटिंग इवेंट में हमें क्या करना है, एडिट इंडेक्स सेट करना है ग्रिड व्यू का. बट उससे पहले हमें पता है कि हमने इस ग्रिड व्यू में डायरेक्टली डेटा सोर्स सेट कर दिया था, करेक्ट. हमने कहीं भी ये डेटा स्टोर नहीं रखा, बट यूजर अब डेटा को मॉडिफाई करने वाला है. सो हमें क्या करना है, डायरेक्टली इस डेटा को ग्रिड व्यू को असाइन नहीं करना है, उससे पहले हमें इसे एक डेटा टेबल में स्टोर करना है. सो जस्ट क्रिएट अ वेरिएबल ऑफ डेटा टेबल टाइप, डेटा टेबल Table name is table. Basically, this data table class is available inside system.data namespace. So we have to import that namespace. Okay. Now, instead of directly executing this command, we can use the adapter class. Just comment this code and create a object of adapter class. Value data adapter equal to new value data adapter. Basically, this adapter class expect a object of command class. So we have to set this object of command class. Now, in the adapter class, we have one fill method. So directly we can use this fill method, and this fill method expect data set or data table to fill. So we have the data table variable, so we can fill this data table. But before that, we have to initialize the object of data table. So we can just initialize the data table object, and then we can pass this variable to this fill method. और हमें पता है कि जो HTTP प्रोटोकॉल है वो स्टेटलेस प्रोटोकॉल है, सो दैट इस टेबल का स्टेट मेंटेन करने के लिए हमें स्टेट मैनेजमेंट टेक्निक का यूज करना होगा, बिकॉज मुझे डेटा का स्टेट सेम पेज पे मेंटेन करना है, सो मैं व्यू स्टेट में यूज कर सकता हूँ, राइट। तो फर्स्ट लेट मी चेक इस डेटा टेबल में कुछ डेटा है, सो आई हैव टू चेक दिस डेटा टेबल डॉट रोज डॉट काउंट greater than 0, then I will create a view state variable. So if just name it as like view state, let's say name it table equal to null, then I will do this like view state equal to table. इस रो एडिटिंग इवेंट में हम चेक कर लेंगे कि व्यू स्टेट डेटा ऑलरेडी है, सो वी विल चेक लाइक व्यू स्टेट table if not equal to null, right, then we will get the data from this view state. So simply we can store this view state table into our table variable. Just we have to table variable view state, and now we have to typecast to our data table. Now what we have to do, we get this data table. Now we have to set the edit index of employee grade. So simply I can set this like that, employee grade dot edit index equal to e dot row index, sorry, new edit index. And now we have to bind this employee grade data source this table, call this bind method. Also we have to set the data source in button upload method. So here we have to set this. Now we can execute this and see the output. Rebuild your application, refresh your page, re-upload the Excel file, hit on upload button, hit on edit button. Now you can see we are able to edit the record. So editing is enabled. Now we have two options, like one for cancelling and one for update. So first let me handle to cancel event. But right now we didn't handle any cancel event. So if you click on the cancel button, you will see one exception thrown by the system. Basically this is the row cancelling event. So what we have to do inside this event, we have to set back the row editing event. Sorry, row editing index. So just we have to fire this event, handle this event also. So go to our grid view, ASPX space grid view, and we have to handle this on row cancel editing. Event this. Now again we can use this. We have to set it created index property to -1, and again we have to bind this grid view. Just rebuild your application, refresh your browser, Now re-upload the Excel file. Now you can see we are able to edit, but currently we are not able to update, but we are able to edit right now, and we are able to cancel this edition. Yes, correct. Now we have to handle this update event. So when user click on this update button, that time we want to update this modified data in our data table. So we have to handle this row updating event. Like when you click in this, it will fire a row updating event. So we have to handle this event as well. So go to our ASP.NET web page and handle row updating event on row updating. So here what we have to do, first we have to check that the data is available in view state. So we have to get this data in our table. Now remove this code. Now we have to update this table with the grid view. So what we can do here, so now we have to find the row from this table which user modified. So simply we can get that particular row by using the index number which user the modify. So you can see the table row and we can pass this index, and from where we can get this index, this event arguments, grid view update event argument. So simply we can say that e dot row index. Okay, it will return a row, return a data row. So simply I can store inside the row variable. Now we have to update the data in this row from the grid view. So simply we can update this zero index of this particular row with the zero index of that particular row of grid view. So we can update it like that. Row of 0 equal to employee grid dot rows e dot row index dot cell zero index cell dot controls, and we can get the first control. We can cast it as a text box, and we can get the text from this text box. All right. Basically you can consider like a user is updating, let's assume the second row. So what is the index of this? The index of this is a 1, and so we are considering inside the first index, this is the cell 0, cell 1, cell 2, and cell 3. And what is the control in cell 1? This is the text box control. So simply we are fetching like in cell 0 we have one control, that is the text box. So we can so do that same for the other cell as well. Like for this is what the cell, this is the cell 1, this is the cell 0, this is cell 1, this is cell 2, and this is cell 3. So simply we can get the data like that and update in table. So in the table row cell 1, we can update it with help of cell 1. Similarly for remaining, this is for cell 2 and cell 3, and same here for cell 2 and cell 3. We have only this four cell. If you see in the table and grade view 0, 1, 2, and 3. 0, 1, 2, and 3. Now once we update this row, now we can call the table dot save changes method. Reflect the changes inside the table dot accept changes, and now we can assign this updated table back to our view state like this. And now we can bind our grade view again with the updated table. Just rebuild your application and refresh your page. Now re-upload the Excel file. Let's, I am trying to edit this last record and I am updating this age from 24 to 22. Hit on the update button. Okay. Now the record is updated, but the grid view is not refreshed. That means the edit index is still enabled. So we have to also disable this edit index. Simply we have to go back to our code, and here we have to set the edit index -1. So simply we can use this employee grid dot edit index, set it to -1. That's it only. Now rebuild your application, refresh your browser. Now re-upload the file. Now let's assume I am editing the same record and I'm updating this to 22. Hit on the update button. Now you can see this record is updated. We can update any record. Let's say for example we have to change this title, so we can change it like that, and we can hit on update button. Okay, if we don't want to update, we can cancel it as well. Now we have to handle this delete event as well. Currently when we fire this delete event, so I will get an exception because why row deleting event is not handled by us. So we have to handle this row deleting event in our grid view. Simply go to our grid view and handle here a row deleting event. So again we have to get the data from our view state variable. Remove this code. Now we have to remove the row from this table. So simply we can call the delete method table dot rows, and we can pass this index on which user is clicked, row index, and simply we can call this delete method. And once the record is deleted, we can call the accept changes method to refresh this table, and after that we will assign this table back to our view state variable, and no need of this code, and we can simply bind our grid with the updated table. Now just save your code, rebuild your application, and refresh it in your browser. Now re-upload your Excel file, hit on upload button. Now you can see this time I am able to remove the record as well. When I am able to edit the record as well. Let's say we have to make this salary 38, we can make this. Now we want a submit button here. Once the user is uploaded the file, the submit button should be enabled to insert this record in our database. So we have to add one submit button on the below of the grid view, or you can keep it as also as the top of the grid view. That is up to your choice. So just go to your ASPX page. Now let me put a button here. ASP button. Sorry, it's not internet server ID. Let's say BP and submit. Text is like submit. And I want to disable this button by default. So we can set the visible property to false. So make it visible to false. So we'll check in our code behind file. If there is any data in table, then we will enable this button. So where we can check this, like here. So if table has the data, then we enable this button. So simply I can say and submit to visible true. In case if there is no data, then we can set it like else false. And we can also this wasted property to false. Sorry, to null. Now same thing we have to do in our method also. So here when we are deleting the record from the grid view, so it might be possible the user deleted all the records. So we have to check the record if record is available or not inside our table, so that accordingly we can make a decision where we have to enable the button or we have to disable the button. So simply you can check it here like that. If table dot rows dot count is greater than 0, then btn submit is visible, true, else we can set this false. Also we can set this view state to null. Now just rebuild your application and refresh the page in browser and re-upload your Excel file. Now you can see submit button is visible here. Now if I remove all the record from this grid view, then this submit button also will get removed. So let's delete all the record from this grid view, but it's not removed. Let's check in the code what happened. So here, basically I write this code inside this updating, not in delete. So we have to remove this code from here and write this code in no deleting. Now this fine. Just rebuild your application, refresh again page and re-upload this file. Now you can see the submit button is visible. Once I remove all the record, it should be removed. So let's remove this record, this record. Now it's working fine. If I upload the file again, then again it should be visible. Now it's working fine. थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग द वीडियो। यदि आपको वीडियो अच्छी लगी हो तो प्लीज़ इसे लाइक कर दें एंड चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दें।